Hi, this is Mark at learnhowtogarden.com, and in today's episode of the 10-Minute Gardener we're going to be talking about the importance of getting your wintergreens into the ground and why it's very important that you think about the spacing that you're actually going to use for these wintergreens. We're at the perfect time of the year for getting your wintergreens planted. I know that sounds daft, doesn't it? We're in August. It was probably the hottest day of the year. But if we don't think now about autumn, winter and spring, by the time we do think, it'll be too late. There are still things you can sow from seed, and we covered that in our August newsletter. If you're not already subscribed to Learn How to Garden and you want to read what you should be sowing now, you probably have to hop over to the website. There's a link between here, subscribe, it's in your email, and there's a list there of all the things that we can be sowing in August. But as well as sowing, you can actually pop down to your local garden centre or nursery, and they'll probably have quite a good selection of the things that you can get in the garden now. But what I want to talk about is that when you're thinking about your wintergreens, don't do a whole packet of cabbage, grow them all and plant them out, because what you're going to end up with is 2 dozen cabbage on the 1st of December thinking, oh, gosh, what am I going to do with them? Also, most gardening books will give you spacings for cabbage which will grow them twice as big as your head. And again, most of us don't have families where we've got 10 people sitting down. In this day and age, you want to think, how big do I need my cabbage for a meal for my family? Therefore, spacing is really, really important. And the optimum spacing for most winter veg, really is probably 1/3 to half what it says on the packet to give you a usable sized vegetable for you to eat. There are 1 or 2 exceptions, but after this video, we're going to do a series of very quick 2 or 3 minute videos on planting each one of the actual ones we're going to go through and sort of say what the optimum spacing is. But I want to show you a little experiment to show you. I tend to start a lot of my Brassicas off in these, which are cell trays. They're a bit like Jiffy 7s, only they're plastic cell trays. And what it means is that when the plants are grown, you get this sort of plant about 15-18 centimetres, is it? I don't know, it's 8 inches in old measurement because I know how far my finger and thumb are apart. And it's a little plug. That going in now is perfectly happy. It'll grow really, really well. But if you pop to the garden centre and buy half a dozen of those and put them all in, you're going to again get them all at roughly the same time. So what I would suggest you do is leave half in those plugs and put half in a little pot. These were put in this pot 3 weeks ago. And look at the difference in size. That's because this has been constrained and that's contained. And we did a video on this a couple of weeks ago, and it's just to show you that it'll give you a different size plant, but what it'll also do is mean that this will mature at a different time to this cabbage. So what we're saying is, by just giving one even a couple of weeks in a bigger pot before you plant them out, you'll actually stagger when they're ready for you to use in the garden. And to be honest, if you've got a dozen cabbage, you want them at slightly different times, don't you? To make sure that you don't get everything coming into your kitchen at the same time. Otherwise, you'll be fed up to the back teeth of it and probably never want to grow it again. So that really is saying, if you're going to get your plants, think how many you're going to want and plant them, give one a couple of weeks start so you stagger how they're going to come into your kitchen. What I'll do now is do a quick video on quite a few of the spring, autumn, spring, winter veg. We'll cover cabbage, cauliflowers, sprouting broccoli or romanescos, and the kales really. So that covers, and Brussels sprouts, that covers the sort of the real big 5 things that you can grow. They'll be very quick. You can look on them, it'll say what varieties that I'm going to be planting this year, what the spacing should be, and how to get them in the ground. It just saves me sort of rattling through them all now and you thinking, oh, what did you say about kale? And I want to be planting Brussels. Hope you're enjoying what we're doing. If we're not, let us know, you know, send us an email. I was about to say send us a bomb through the post, but you'll get picked up if you do that and you won't be watching anything. Well, you might be watching this from, you know, the comfort of your own cell. Anyway, that's Mark at Learn How to Garden saying I hope you're enjoying this, as I said 2 seconds ago, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.